In this video, we completely break down one of Lakewood Ranch, Florida's most premier new home communities and one of America's top semi-custom luxury home builders. Let's get started. Real quick, for those that don't know me, I'm Adam Hancock. I have a real estate group in Southwest Florida, and I put out daily videos on Florida relocation and investment assistance. And for access to over 90 videos in the last 11 months and counting. So today's community focus is on the ISLES at Lakewood Ranch. So itinerary-wise, I want to do four main things. Firstly, I want to start off with a little bit of background, location, the builder, the schools, etc. Secondly, I want to talk about the amenities, what's included, where they're located, and what they look like. Thirdly, I want to talk about the housing collections, the prices. We're going to walk through real models, what's available. And the last thing I'd like to do is touch on the fees, the deposit schedule, anything else you'd want to know, lot prices, in the total cost of ownership picture of looking at this community. So without further ado, let's hop in. Lakewood Ranch is built by Toll Brothers, which Toll Brothers is a pretty old school builder. They've been around 50 years. They're publicly traded. They're very large. They've ranked as #1 home builder in America in a bunch of different various reports. The biggest takeaway with them in this community and how it's situated is that Toll Brothers is definitely one of the most, not only luxury, but one of the most custom, semi-custom builders I've ever worked with. So now they're planned community, semi-custom, just like a lot of the DeValstas and the Pultes of the world, but they're a lot higher end and they let you do a lot more things than a lot of other builders do within a veil of some sort of package versus piecing it together yourself. So that's one of the biggest takeaways with them. It's that luxury and the more custom version, but you save a little bit of money because you're not completely, buying the land and doing a full-on custom build. So locationally, the ISLES sits right here. So main Lakewood Ranch is right here. Lakewood Ranch Boulevard is here. The ISLES sits a little bit east of that, but pretty far south. It's in a really good location on a map. It's kind of that when I was talking about windward in a previous video, it kind of gives you that kind of appeal. But again, this is just one of those, if you have 800, 900 grand, you have that to spend, you're looking at Waterside and you're looking at some of these communities. If you like all the Lakewood Ranch stuff, this is one of the best ways to spend that money on a new build, in my opinion. And what this location does for you, it puts you only 5 miles down from downtown Lakewood Ranch. It puts you 15 miles from downtown Sarasota here. Puts you 18 miles from Lido Beach here, and it puts you, which will put you 20 miles or so from Siesta Key here. And then it puts you about 28 miles from Venice. So I really like these, even if they're east, I really like staying further south down here. It just gives you access to a lot of the, where everybody's trying to get to this district here. So this would be similar to Windward, but a much more luxury type of neighborhood. From an education standpoint, if you have school-age children, then the ISLES at Lakewood Ranch does put you in a pretty good position, both private and public. What you basically have available to you is the K-5 option for public school. We'll talk about public first, then private. The K-5 option puts you at Robert Willis Elementary School, which is a 10 out of 10 rated public school, as you can see here. The middle school option is Nolan, which is right here. It's a 7 out of 10. So a 7 out of 10 would be a very high ranking school, in my opinion, and this is greatschools.org. They do a pretty good job. So Dan Nolan is your middle school, and then Lakewood Ranch High is the high school that's public. Shoot down here real quick. And that's a 6 out of 10. Again, this would be, a lot of people would consider Lakewood Ranch High a very highly rated high school. A lot of people really like it. You always hear good things about it. And then, so from a private school perspective, you have preschool-wise, you have the Goddard School. So that's like a national franchise if you've ever heard of them. From PK through all the way through 12 private, you have the Classical Academy of Sarasota, which is off of Fruitville Road. And 6 through 12, you have Outdoor Academy, middle and upper school. And then there's an Outdoor Academy Elementary School down in Siesta Key. But these are, obviously private schools, location doesn't matter as much, but it gives you kind of options there. It's nice to have the public school option that's highly rated because then you're not forced to do that. So Lakewood Ranch is 100% one of the best spots in both Sarasota and Manatee County in order to achieve high rated public schools. And just this district in general, in this Manatee County, Sarasota County border, always ranks super high for athletes in this district. They have magnet programs, they have charter programs, accelerated programs. So overall, school-wise, the ISLES gives you a really nice option where a lot of times if you can afford the ISLES or Waterside, or you have a little bit of a higher tier in price point, then sometimes those put you in areas where the schools don't match that, just because the average person buying there, a lot of times isn't a family. The Isles does give you a little bit of an exception there, so I think that's really key if you have young kids and you're at a price point above 800. Okay, so I hope that gives you a little bit more perspective in the background of this community. Now let's hop to number 2 and talk about the amenities. Okay, so amenities would definitely be another plus to this type of community. They did a really good job with it, and you basically have a wide array of different things offered to you. So it's a gated community. You have a full amenity center. It's called the Pier House. You can kind of see it there. There's a clubhouse. There's a fitness center. There is a meditation garden, which you'll see here in a second. They have beautiful tennis courts. You can kind of see there. 4 tennis courts. They have separate pickleball courts, which is the blue courts you saw there. There's a resort-style outdoor pool. And then I think, there's the meditation grounds right there. Here's your little clubhouse. There's a dog park, there's a lake, and a fishing pond in here. So you can kind of see they did a really, really good job. It looks really nice. It's in a good position in the neighborhood. They have covered seating. The pool's a pretty large area. You have some cornholes, so they kind of turfed around. Here's your fishing pier, your lake there. So kind of unique with some of the fishing array. Plus I thought they just did you can kind of see that there's the full grounds. It looks really nice and easy access for most of the homes. So that would definitely be a plus with this one. So beyond that, just general area-wise, so this is downtown, that's Main Street right there in Sarasota. You have really easy access to Main Street. You have the mall at University Town Center. If you've never been over there, that's a really nice area, very, very close to the Isles neighborhood. You have the Lakewood Ranch YMCA from a fitness perspective down State Road 70, or down Lakewood Ranch Boulevard. You have Orange Theory Fitness. You have the Premier Sports Campus that's down State Road 70 near the Greenbrook neighborhood, near the Lorraine area. You have Lakewood Ranch, downtown Lakewood Ranch has a movie theater, Lakewood Ranch Cinemas. Nathan Benderson Park is nice for the kids. That's also at University Town Center. And park-wise, you have a lot of kind of public shared amenities within Lakewood Ranch as a whole. So you have Summerfield Park, you have Greenbrook Adventure Park, a lot of walking nature trails. So overall, it's in a really good position. I like the southern location, like I mentioned before, but just within the community itself, you wouldn't even have to leave if you kind of like that kind of putting around your own neighborhood style. So that kind of gives you an idea of amenities. And third, I wanted to talk specifically about the housing options. Okay, when it comes to specific housing options within the Isles at Lakewood Ranch, you have 2 different distinct home collections they're offering. One's the Sanibel and one's the Captiva. What it's going to give you broadly is 20 different floor plans amongst the 2 home collections. And your price range is going to be $515,000 to about $780,000 base. They're going to range from about 2,200 to about 4,200 square feet. Again, this is base, so these all have shades of gray. 3 bedroom, 2.5 bath to about 4 bedroom, 4.5 bath if there's no structural added on top of the base. They have both 1 and 2 story options and 2 and 3 car garages. And we're going to hop through some models here, so I just want to give you a little bit of broad. Oh, and base inclusions here, they all come with brick paver driveways, all have tile roofs, all have screen lanais, gourmet kitchen and granite countertops, 42-inch kitchen cabinetry, granite countertops in all the bathrooms as well, and luxury master bedroom suites. A lot of their base is really, really nice. That kind of puts you in this luxury class where you don't have to upgrade the whole world beyond the base. So the base ones here offer quite a bit, which is nice. Okay, we're first going to hop in the Sanibel, which is going to be your lowest entry price point. Look at a couple models in there, and then we'll hop over to the Captiva. So the Sanibel has about 11 different models you can choose from, and I'll see them here. So they all have these theme names, but 11 total in escalating size and price point. So I want to look at one at the lower end and one at the upper end of this collection specifically, and then we'll hop over and do the same for the other one. So we're going to look at the Avery, which is a base price of $548. So this is going to be your second lowest price point in the entire neighborhood to entry into. And it's about 2,400 square feet. It's a 3 bedroom, 3.5 bath. And we're going to look at, I want to show you some front elevations first. So one of the things that makes the community so unique is every individual of the 20 floor plans, they have 3 to 4 front elevations each that are different. So over all these different people getting in here and having different style, it comes across pretty unique. But you can see it's very, very coastal. So really nice style, different front porches. So you can select amongst these different elevations. And then I want to show you photos here so you can get a view of the style of some of the Toll Brothers options. So they do, like I said, they do a really good job with them. So I'll just kind of flick through here, not going to belabor the point, but A lot of things available to you, a lot of different flooring options. They have these corner sliders. I think it's like a $12,000 upgrade, is that it wraps all the way around and all of this will collapse. So again, just some unique options you can do with Toll that typically would be more of a custom builder. Really nice kitchen upgrade options, really nice creative storage options around the bars. So yeah, so you kind of see here. So this would be, again, $548,000 and one of the lower entry points in there. So kind of a nice value if other people are building at $1 million right next to you. Okay, let's look at one more on the higher end of this tier. So we're gonna look at a 2-story called the Carver Elite, which is a 3,400 square feet. It's a 3-bedroom, 4.5 bath, and you get the upstairs, downstairs type of feel. And that's another 2-car garage. And I'll show you some front elevations here, so you can kind of see the different styles this one provides. And then some floor plan. Oh, so one of the things I did want to mention was structure-wise, it's kind of cool. They have some really nice ways to see what you can do. And again, with the myriad of options Toll allows, there's a lot of ways you can structurally add to something to get the really ideal floor plan for how your family lives. So you can kind of see here, if you watch this screen, you can kind of see how you can add different options. You can throw a back patio that's extended, primary bedroom. You can really see what this thing kind of looks like before you pull the trigger. Okay, so again, this is the 2-story. You kind of see like the nice floor option here. They have luxury vinyl, they have hardwood tile, a bunch of different collections here. They really deck out these models, but you can just kind of see what's available to you. And again, this is a really nice option if you have really particular tastes in housing and what you need. So yeah, kind of get the point here. Okay, so that's the Sanibel collection. We're gonna hop over and check out a couple in the Captiva collection to give you a little bit more rounded view of what's available in the higher end. Okay, now we're in the Captiva collection, which is the higher end entry level. You have a base of about $660K into this collection, and you're ranging from about 2,700 to 4,100 square feet, 9 total models. This brings us to about 20 in the neighborhood totally, and most of them have about 4 front elevations each. So we're gonna look at a specific model to give you an idea here. Probably just look at one here, but I want to talk a little bit about like them in general. So what they're doing a lot of times, you're seeing like this. So again, you have 9 here. You're seeing this like Sandpiper Elite. I think there's a Maxwell, Maxwell Elite, Solana Elite, regular Solana. So what they're doing here is they're kind of like when you buy a car and you're like an F-150 XL and an XLT and a Lariat and a King Ranch and a Raptor. They're kind of doing these base level packages for you. What it's doing is it's taking a really popular, tried and true floor plan, and then it's adding this, like a second story in a lot of times, or adding this other concept that takes them up in price point, but it offers a lot of bang for your buck versus you trying to piece that together separately. So this is kind of that like really custom, semi-custom thing I mentioned. So that's interesting, but it's a pretty good way of doing it because it will save you a lot by just them doing that work versus someone, again, trying to do it themselves. So that's why you see that kind of thing. So interesting there. San Giorgio, really popular model here. So we're going to look at the Solana, which the base level Solana, $723,000. It's 3,300 square feet and a 4-bedroom, 3.5 bath. And this one has a 3-car garage, as you can see here. And I'm going to show you some pictures. Okay, so you're going to see a similar design here, but just generally I want to give you a sense of what the higher end base level homes are going to give you. So you kind of see those sliders that I mentioned earlier, and this is how kind of nice this could be with an outdoor pool. But yeah, just generally like the base level where these start at is going to be a little higher end, a little bit more you're going to be able to do with them floor plan wise. Really a good fit for people that are really particular about what they need, and not only floor plan, but also just the house in general. Someone that maybe would have been a good fit for like a knockdown build. If you do this kind of house, if you went closer to downtown and tried to piece this together yourself, not in a planned community, you'd be at least $400,000 or $500,000 extra. So there's real advantages to doing a semi-custom neighborhood, but just having a builder that allows you to do a little bit more, and especially get this size. You're never going to get this size house or anything near that if you go west or the beaches. So just food for thought there, but yeah, just wanted to show you a little bit about the Captiva collection. So we've seen both the Sanibel and the Captiva. And the last thing we're going to do in this video is we're going to talk about fees, schedule, anything else that you'd want to know. So let's hop over and move on. Okay, so we've talked about the background, the housing, the amenities. Now this is our everything else section. So the first thing I wanted to talk about was fees. So what's interesting in this community, at first glance, when you see everything, HOA to me, my first guess would have been much higher than they came out at. So they're only running here at $325 a month on average, which is really interesting. And what this includes is all the common area landscaping. So that's usually the biggest kind of thing you get that's outside the norm that you might pay for on your own. So you're paying $100 a month for exterior maintenance on the land. You alleviate that. This HOA is really $225, so that kind of thing. They don't do a lot of the trees and stuff, but they do all the grounds. And then you have, just all the amenities. You have the community fountain, you have the gate, you have the parks, you have the resort-style swimming pool and all that kind of stuff. But I thought what was interesting was, and the other thing that you might be interesting is the pest control for the lawn. So if you have $325 and you have that with all these amenities, I thought that's pretty attractive for this kind of community. So that's a good thing. So beyond HOA, let's talk about the lots. So the lot costs in this neighborhood are currently running, it's a wide range. So currently it's like about $15K for the lot itself, again, because you need to do base price of house plus lot. But you can go as high, because of the uniqueness of the community, you can go as high as $200,000 if you're like on this premium water lot and all that kind of thing. So the lots themselves, they're kind of laid out like this. So the Sanibel's the smaller models and the Captiva's the bigger. But you can kind of see they've sectioned off where the collections versus each other. But beyond that, and availability varies all the time. But beyond that, for the most part, you're going to get kind of interior lots, you're going to get conservation, you're going to get water views, you're going to get all of that kind of stuff, and a mix of how that's positioned, how many houses are close to you, and where you're located is going to be that wide range. But the cool thing is that you can get a really nice house, and if you're not romantic about, and a lot of people from up north don't even want to be near water because of alligator, snake type of deal. But if you're not romantic about the lot in any particular way, then they're pretty affordable lots for these kind of houses. So that's kind of what I wanted to drive home there. So $15,000, $200,000 there. And then the last thing I wanted to mention as far as this goes is kind of deposit and timeline. So in order to buy one of these houses, you're looking at about 5%. They kind of separate theirs a little bit different. So 5% of home base price at signing. You have 5% of lot price at signing again. So it's basically 5% of base plus lot. 20% is structural. So these are structural upgrades. So add a pool, you change the sliders, you say something real structural, not flooring or any of that kind of stuff. It's 20% of just those options, and then 20% of design upgrades. So that would be all the upgrades that aren't considered structural that happen, maybe a month after you sign that original contract. So typically this kind of stuff is all at what you would consider signing the contract, and then this happens right after because they just don't know what that's going to be. But this is really tied into permit approval, so this has to happen first. And but you can see the actual deposit on here is the deposit, the way they run this is way cheaper than a lot of communities. So there's communities now doing, it's 10% of this whole thing, 10% of all these, or 20% I've seen, which is crazy. So the big priced items that you're gonna do are these two. So you're talking, it's not bad. It's basically 5% is what you're talking. So I think that's really nice. And so when you talk about timeline, and you're talking maybe 8 to 12 months for these, and they're larger houses, delays right now. So let's say 12 months to be safe, but you could be 8 to 12 months. Liquidity-wise, you can kind of play the selling your own house, relocating, all that really smartly, because the design deposit's not that large in perspective. So say you put down a deposit today, and you're going to move in December, and you have a house that you want to sell, you don't need to, what are you trying to figure that out? You can wait, you can be in a cold weather state, wait till June to sell your house, not have to rent a house for all those months in between, wait till June, July, August, or whatever, and then when you liquidate your house, if you're going to do financing, the whole mortgage part doesn't come into play until 45 days, late October, for December close. So that's the good thing about a low initial deposit on this level house. So I thought that was interesting, just wanted to mention that. That kind of wraps up all the other stuff I would really consider thinking about in total cost to ownership. And now let's hop over and wrap up. Please stick around, I have some valuable pieces I want to share, and let's wrap up. All right, guys, that wraps up today's neighborhood breakdown, this time the ISLES at Lakewood Ranch. If you haven't gotten too deep into the channel, I want to point you in a couple directions. Check out the video I did on pros and cons of living in Lakewood Ranch right here, and I did a whole spreadsheet breakdown on prices, all the neighborhoods, that kind of thing. Also, look here, I'm gonna add a playlist that's just Lakewood Ranch focused content. I do a lot of areas, but just that focus there. Please look at the description below, tons of helpful links, resources, relocation guide, my contact information, all of that kind of stuff. Thank you so much for watching. If there's any neighborhoods or topics that you want me to look at, please drop a comment below. Contact me directly, whatever you need. I'm here to help. Thanks again for watching. See you on the next one.